Hey, what's up guys? Today I am back with a makeup tutorial. The tutorial I have for you today is literally the most simple eye look you can think of, but it is so much fun. You see that? You see that? Today's look is using the Moonchild Glow Kit from Anastasia Beverly Hills, which I have been absolutely obsessed with. It is so much fun to play with colored highlighters both on your eyes and on the rest of your face. Now, that being said, if you do not feel comfortable walking around the world with this majestical fucking unicorn blue highlight, well then I don't know what to tell you. But completely okay for you to do this look, use the color on your inner corner, and then do the rest of your highlighting with like whatever highlighter you normally use. Personally, I think this is fun as fuck, so I'm going with it. I wore this the other day to like run errands and stuff, and girls were stopping me everywhere I went to ask me about it. Quite frankly, I don't blame them because like, are you a unicorn? Are you a mermaid? What is happening? Tell me how you do this magic that you do, is what I would be thinking if I saw somebody rolling around Trader Joe's looking like this. You know what I mean? But yeah, this would be really, really great for like a fun night out, maybe like a festival type of a thing, a nightclub, or you could just wear it whenever you feel like it because you just want to look like a unicorn. The eye look is also the most simple technique in the history of the entire world, and you can take that technique and apply it to any colors with any type of inner corner highlight and be done in like 5 minutes with your eyes, and it looks phenom. So if you don't even like these colors, just take the technique away from it, you know? All right, let's take one more look at this majestic unicorn goddamn highlight. It's so good. And then we will zoom in and start with the eyes and finish the rest of this look. So as usual, for the sake of keeping this a little bit on the brief side, I have already done my foundation portion of my skin, and I have filled in my eyebrows. So I'm going to zoom in and we can start on the eyes. To start the eyes, I'm going to take this cream shadow. This is one of the Maybelline 24-Hour Color Tattoos. This is like a taupe color and a beige color, a taupey beige color. There are a few other taupey colors that would also be perfect for this look. It's really just to set a base for the shadow that's going to go on top, so it doesn't really matter the exact color of it. Also, these are very similar to the MAC paint pots, so if you have one of those in a similar color, such as Bare Study or something along those lines, that would also work. The formula is almost identical, so basically it's the same shit. I'm going to apply that by using this Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush. I'm just going to swirl that around in the jar, and I am going to buff the color in across my entire lid and through the crease. With a clean version of the same brush, I'm going to just blend out the edges of that cream shadow. Next, I am going to grab one of my favorite browns. This is a matte brown single shadow from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's called Fawn. I'm going to take that on a Real Techniques Dome Shadow brush, and I'm going to blend that across the entire lid where I put that base shadow and into the crease. And to blend out that edge, I am using this Sigma E40 blending brush that has no product on it. Before we move on to the lower lash line and the rest of the eye, I'm just going to apply my under eye concealer and then set it with a bunch of powder that we can brush away in case of any fallout. Before I start applying shadows to the lower lash line, I am going to line the inner rim. I'm going to use the Rimmel London Waterproof Kohl Kajal pencil in the color 003 Brown. I find that this lasts really well on the waterline, but generally speaking, my favorite is the Urban Decay 24/7 pencils for the waterline. I just ran out of my brown one. And I'm also going to line my tight line with this. And I just drew on my nose. To continue the soft, smoky look on the lower lash line, I am going to grab a small shader brush. This is a Real Technique shader brush. And I'm just going to dip that into the same brown shadow, Anastasia Fawn. As usual, mostly packing that onto one side of the brush. I just find that this gives me a little bit more precision. And I'm going to place that under my lower lash line and sweep it right up into where we placed that color on the top lid. The star of this look is obviously that blue inner corner highlight. So to pack that on the inner corner, I am going to take my Sigma E30 pencil brush. I am going to dip that into the color Blue Ice from the Anastasia Moonchild Glow Kit, and I'm going to pack a good amount of that onto all sides of the brush to dampen that with a little bit of Fix Plus. I'm going to just place that color directly into the inner corner. Initially, while it's wet, I'm just going to pack it into the inner corner area in the general vicinity of where I want it and get a lot of color, and then I'm going to blend the edges out with a clean brush. Does anybody else love the way the original Fix Plus smells? It smells so good. To blend in the edges of that highlight, I'm going to go in with the Morphe E18 pencil brush. And I am just literally going as lightly as possible over the edges of that because I want to blend it into the surrounding shadows without losing pigment. If you do find that you've lost a lot of the pigment after you blend it out, don't be afraid to go back into the palette, pack some more on your brush, put it back down where it needs to be, and then you'll have more pigment back where it needs to be without having to blend it away. For my top lash line, I want to have a thin line for the false lashes to sit on, but I don't want to use a harsh black liner because I want to keep it a little bit softer. So I am going to go in with the Kat Von D tattoo liner that I usually use, but this time in the color Mad Max Brown. And I am just going to trace a thin line of that over my top lash line so the lash band has a little bit of something to blend into. You don't have to worry about spending a lot of time making this line perfect because you're pretty much not going to see it. You just want there to not be a gap between your natural lashes and the falsies. To finish off the eyes, I'm going to pop on some fluffy false lashes. I'm going to use House of Lashes Boudoir, surprise, surprise, and I am going to use the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara on the bottom lashes to kind of give them a very full and fluffy look. Damn, what a difference the lashes make. Now this is pretty much it for the eyes. I told you guys it was so simple. We're going to zoom out and let us get started on the skin. For my skin, I've already contoured, added a little bit of bronzer, and obviously I have foundation on. But I'm actually going to skip blush today because I don't want the color of the blush to take away from the color of the crazy blue highlight that we're using. Now, if you don't feel comfortable wearing a blue highlight on your cheeks, you could very easily do this same look, but use the blue highlighter on your inner corner and then use a regular champagne toned, white toned, cream tone, whatever highlighter on your cheeks and your cupid's bow the rest of your face to tone it down a little bit. If I did everything the normal way all the time, then this would be a really boring channel, no? For the cheek highlight, I'm going to grab this Tarte blush brush that happens to be one of my favorite highlighting brushes. It is fairly thin, so it makes for a good highlight brush, but you could use a fan brush or a smaller brush, whatever you prefer. And I'm going to dip one side of that into the color Blue Ice. And I'm going to tap a little bit of it off because it is extremely pigmented, and I think it's important to have fairly precise placement when you're going to wear a blue highlighter. Otherwise, it starts to look like a bruise, you know what I mean? Unless you're doing like a really editorial look and it's going to be like well lit, it can translate very strangely if you get it a little bit too spread out, you know what I mean? Fucking love that. Like really. To make sure that the edges of that highlight are blended in nicely, I am going to use a buffing brush. This has a little bit of my face powder on it, but that's okay. I'm going to just use that right around the outer edges of where I placed that blue highlight, but I'm not going to touch the main portion of the highlight at all because I don't want it to lose its intensity because goddamn. The smaller eyeshadow brush, this brush in particular is the Real Techniques essential crease brush, but it could be pretty much any smaller brush that you feel comfortable using. It doesn't matter. I'm going to place a little bit of that blue highlight on my Cupid's bow, and then I am going to apply a liquid lip over that just so there's a highlight at the edge. We might need to go back in and apply a little bit more after, but I think this is a good way to get it kind of even first. Right now, it looks like we have a little bit of a shiny blue mustache, but we are going to fix that right now. For today's lip, I am going to use my Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick in the color Veronica. And as usual, I'm going to begin with applying the edges of that with a lip brush, and then I will fill in the center with a doe foot applicator. And this is the finished look. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more videos. I put out a video every week. Don't forget to check out my blog, MissQuinnFace.com. I have tons of beauty tips on there, along with DIYs and all the archives of all of the makeup looks I've done in the past, plus most of the most popular ones I've posted on Instagram. Speaking of Instagram, follow me there too, at MissQuinnFace, also on Twitter at MissQuinnFace, and also on Snapchat as MissQuinnFace. You can just see what I do on a daily basis. Usually it's not that exciting, but I do weird stuff and it can be fun. That's all for now. I'll see you all next week. Thank you again for watching. I said that already? Okay, bye. Pigment, more pigment, pigment, more pigment, oh my god.